So, Dennis, one thing that regularly surprises people is that we plan for clients to live to age 100. Why do we do that?
Well, at the risk of sounding glib, we don't want people to run out of money before they run out of life.
No? Well, that's fair enough. But is it an overly long time frame? Would you say that you're being overly cautious with that?
Not overly cautious, yes, but not overly cautious. I think we have seen with longevity that people are living longer. Certainly, I started in financial services 40 years ago when the average life expectancy was in the low 80s. It's now in the high 80s, and that's just the average life expectancy. There are people living longer, and I have clients who are rapidly approaching age 100. So I know it's going to happen for some people.
And do you think people have got their heads around the fact that retirement could be a 30 to 40-year span now? And I think that's probably another reason for us planning to that age.
I don't think people have generally. I have a lot of conversations with people who said, my father or my mother died, or my grandfather or my grandmother died at a particular age, and that's what they will anchor to, without taking into account increases in just general longevity, healthcare, and all of those things that will help us live longer, not necessarily healthier, but longer. So I need to make sure that there is enough money for those people, and also make sure there is not too much money. It's a very fine balance.
So, how do you do that?
It's an art. So I think we picked age 100 because that I think is a nice round number in a way that if we're not building everything in concrete, so to speak, if we're building plans that are flexible, as people are getting older, yeah, we're planning to age 100. But if you get to age 85, 86, and beginning to be frail or whatever, or quality of life changes, you can spend more, give money away. We're not saying it has to, it has to last to age 100. We've got a lot of things that we can do. But at the outset, if you're embarking on that retirement at age 60, 65, 66, whatever it is, you don't want me to be double guessing your life expectancy. You don't want me to be planning to 85 and running out of money. I need to feel, and you need to feel, that there is that quality of life that you have been working so hard for and you have an expectation of is going to last for as long as you live.
And you make a really good point there, actually. The plan is flexible, it's not static. So if you plan to age 100, can you change the plan if you hit 70 and you know that things are going to be different?
So, we meet people with all experiences of life, terminal illnesses that we're not expecting. There are, of course, I think a good financial plan has flexibility built into it as a matter of course. And there will be some people who will live beyond age 100.
Well, absolutely. My grandmother's 99. I think she's going to beat it.
Good for her.
Good for her. So this kind of long-term planning, this is when looking really far ahead for some people. How does it affect the decisions they're making today?
I think it would be fair to say that most people, when they walk into the offices of a financial planner, haven't got a 30 or a 40-year viewpoint in mind. They've got a 3 or a 5-year viewpoint in mind. And that's typical of, when you ask people how long is their investment horizon, 3 to 5 years, but it's not. My first job, the thing that I think I have to do, is to expand their timeline and to say, look, what if you did live to, even if it's not 100, even if it's 90, this money that you're putting aside hasn't got to work for 3 to 5 years. It has still got to be there doing that job in 25, 30, 35 years' time. So make plans around that, because you won't thank me if all I ever do is give you a 5-year solution.
Okay, so does planning to age 100 ever change how people feel about gifting to their loved ones or their friends, or particularly spending during retirement?
This is a conversation that does come up quite a lot. And there are those people that feel they may be living to age 85, 86, and don't want to pay inheritance tax and are keen to give money away. And I have to, I suppose, advise them to act cautiously. What if? We know that a married couple, there is a 25% chance that one of them will be alive at age 92. Yeah, one of you might have gone, but the other one is still there. And we need to make sure that there is enough capital, there are enough resources to support that lifestyle for a bit longer.
Okay, so ultimately, planning to age 100, is it really just for peace of mind, or is there something more in that?
Of course, there's peace of mind. There has to be peace of mind. You've got to be able to enjoy your life knowing that you're not going to run out of money. But I also think the science, the evidence supports more and more people in our society living to age 100 or thereabouts. And therefore, you need to make these plans that maybe our parents and our grandparents didn't have to. And the landscape has changed. You know, people of previous generations that were having state pensions, lower quality of or lower standard of living, housing that was cheaper, all kinds of things that made things a little bit more predictable have gone. The current generations are having to support themselves throughout their entire lifetime and have to take much more responsibility for doing that. And as an advisor, I've got to point out the pitfalls along the way. And one of them is don't take too short a time frame.